What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about something that could make people mad, but I'm going to try to make it as clear of where I stand as humanly possible. I want to talk about Battlefield 2042 and what PC Gamer has such a problem with. Now, I am no fan of the Kotaku, IGNs, PC Gamers. All these sites, I believe, are mainly trash. I'd say like 95% of them. And what's interesting about this is not actually what the story is, you know, the title, the subtitle. It's not really about that, and I do want to make it clear kind of where I stand. It's about what the person said in this. Now, a couple things to know. Number one, do not contact this person. I'm not even going to show nor say the person who wrote this, but let's just, you know, we're keeping it here. We get to laugh at this person and so on. But really, I think this is a signal of what gaming journalists really care about, what they actually, or what they think actually matters in a video game. And, you know, I've made this point many times on the channel, and I think this really highlights it well. So basically, the story is that Battlefield 2042 introduces its first non-binary character in Sundance. Now, you know, I tweeted that, like, hey, guys, look, like, this is an issue that, or I guess, like, this is the biggest issue of Battlefield, and they decided that this was the biggest issue and not anything else. And, I mean, that was a joke, and to make it very clear, too, and, again, where I stand on this, and even the article, I don't mind nor care that this person, this non-binary character, is in the game. I think that's fine. I think, especially when you kind of go a little bit more in depth with what happened, and people actually tweeted me this too, which I think is a very fair point. This is something that's not like a big deal, which it shouldn't be. And like, that's actually the biggest and best point. It's not a big deal because this was really just found, you have to go like deep down in like their bio page, and people found out that this character did not have, or they have a they them pronoun, or like that's what they want to be called. And then so they asked, and then the I believe community manager confirmed that yes, you know, this person is non-binary. Okay, so that's, and again, like, that's actually fine. I guess when I first saw the tweet, I kind of thought, oh, okay, Battlefield is like making a big deal out of it, of course, because why wouldn't they? And really, again, it's because it's not a big deal. So what's funny about it is I want to read one specific, there's really only one article in this that ticks me off, but it actually summarizes everything I think is wrong, probably with this person, with PC Gamer in general, with the gaming sites. Here's the paragraph I'm talking about. Because Battlefield 2042 lacks a conventional campaign mode, it's unlikely that Sundance's gender identity, nor the fact that they're also black, will have a major impact on the game versus their combat skills. My guess is that most players won't know about this, or won't know this about the character, unless they specifically go looking for the information on the internet, which reinforces the ways in which identity is still often an afterthought when it comes to games of this stature. So let me ask you guys a question. Is my redeeming quality, or is my main quality as an individual, I'm being a straight white male? So I'm white, I'm a male, and I'm straight. Does that make me, or is that what, when somebody comes up to me and says, Alex, you know, what do you like? What's like, what makes you tick? Like, what do you think makes you special or different, or like, what's your personality like? And I say, well, I'm a straight white male. I mean, that should give you all you need to know, right? If you're black, do people come up to you and say, hey, so what's your, you know, like, what makes you a person? And you say, well, I'm black. I mean, that's the main thing. Does anybody say that? No. So let me ask you guys a question. Why is it okay for these, again, these justice warriors, that's what these people are, they're really keyboard warriors, this guy who writes the article, and this is where I'm going to get mad, by the way. This is exactly how it should be. His article actually says the quiet part out loud in two different ways. Number one, it always should be an afterthought. It's fine to have gay characters, to have members of these communities or whatever. You know, I'm just like a huge overview. I have zero problem with these characters being in movies, shows, games, making them leads, making them secondary characters, whatever. I'm completely fine with it. But you know, the issue is oftentimes it ends up, well, what makes them a character? So say you have a movie or a show or a video game. Let's do a video game. Even you could say like Life is Strange, and I would go to the first one because I think that's actually done really well. Is the definitive, or is the main quality of Max and Chloe that they're lesbians, that they, you know, because you can go the path that they like each other, you know, they kiss at the end. Is that what makes them good characters? If your answer is that's the reason, then I don't know what to say to you. You know what I mean? I really don't. That's not what makes them a character. That's just a part of that. You know what I mean? Same thing if they were a male and a female and they kissed, and it's like, okay, is that what you're selling it on? Obviously not. Why? You know, that's not what you do. It's kind of become this thing in media where they make it seem like that, but I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. So So it's the same thing for anything. You know what I mean? I mean, non-binary, like obviously these are newer things that are being like publicized and like, you know, people are talking about it like widespread, which is fine. The fact is they want to be called they, them, right? Which is totally cool, and they're non-binary. But if you go up to them and you say, well, what makes you, you know, an individual? What's like you, and they say, well, I'm non-binary. If that's what, and I would say this to people straight to their face, honestly, if that's what you think makes you like special or gives you personality, gives you a character, the fact that you know, identify as that, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry for you, to be quite honest with you. So the thing, and I know that was going more of like a political thing, but hopefully I made my point across. I have no problem with people being anything they want to be. But if you're going to say, and again, so the main thing here, it's unlikely Sundance's gender identity, nor the fact that they're black. Oh, because if you're black, your thing is you're black. I mean, you could be like say you're a comedian. It's not because you're funny. It's because you're black. That's what literally makes you an individual. Will have a major impact on the game versus their combat skills. Well, what do you want them to do? When you're playing Battlefield 2042, do you want a history lesson? Do you want, a history lesson in terms of like gender, you know, politics? Do you want them to talk about their identity for like 20 minutes and like lecture somebody of how they need to accept it? Like, what exactly is this person wanting from Battlefield 2042's story that doesn't exist, right? They want a story because there's nowhere for this non-binary black person to shine. Well, how about you play the game, and that's that? How about the fact is the next part of his sentence is actually the most important part, that you won't even know unless you go looking, which reinforces the way identity is still an afterthought. If you're in a war, and now, granted, I'm not, you know, a soldier. I've never served. I actually have a very, very, very close friend from like 3 years old that I'm still best friends with now. He's in the military. When you're in there, so I know a thing or two. When you're in there and, you know, you're in a battle, I don't think you care if your brother or sister or whatever is a polka dot man, you know, or is a llama. I think you're with them and you're in it together, and that's that. I don't think you're gonna say, even if you say you missay their pronouns, I don't think they're gonna get mad at you when you have bullets raining down. I just don't think those are like the most important things when you're in a battle. And considering Battlefield in general has always been like you're in the war. Now, of course, you're not actually there. But you guys understand my point? This is a non-issue. And while this is only a paragraph, the entire, you know, article is talking about the non-binary character, which, you know, I guess, again, is kind of fine. And again, I do agree with the general point that it's not a big deal because you do have to go searching for it. And in fact, that's kind of exactly how it should be. You know what I mean? Maybe some people would say, like, well, they'd be caught off guard. I don't know if that would make you sound like a great person if you say, you know what I mean? Like, so you're playing a game and you're like, oh, shoot, I didn't know these two characters were gay. And now that they are, like, I'm caught, because that maybe comes across that you're, you know, certain, maybe it doesn't, because I'm not going to judge really anybody, but, you know, maybe it does. So, but at the same time, isn't that kind of how it should be? Like, you go into something, a movie, a show, a game. This is kind of actually how exactly I want it to be. You go into these things, and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. If you're caught off guard, you're caught off guard. If you're not, you're not. But, like, these things are just happening, and the character, you know, because I'd rather have that than people tell me, you need to see this movie because it's all female. You need to see this movie because we hired can you believe it? First time in history, a black lead. We've never done it before. Well, actually, kind of, you know, so like, I'd rather have that where you just kind of go, nobody talks about it. There's a non-binary, or even for a game, right? There's a non-binary character in the game. Nobody even cares or knows until you get in the game and you say, oh, cool. You know, there's 4 males, 4 females, one of them's gay, and one of them's non-binary. Cool. I don't care. You know, they're actually just soldiers in a battle, which is actually kind of how it should be. I think that's much more powerful because that's, I believe, the level of you know what I mean? That's acceptance. That's being like, oh, okay, it doesn't matter. They're not all the same. Obviously, they're different, but they're all soldiers. Like, you can pick them and whatever. Do you know what I mean? So the fact is, PC Gamer is a really bad site. They took shots at, or they were part of the whole Hogwarts Legacy trying to cancel it. They tried to cancel Troy Leavitt, who actually, they were one of the first ones to write the articles on him. They're a trash site. They're a trash company, I personally believe. And this article, again, that it is only a paragraph. I'll give you that. It's not like they're shoving it down your throat the entire time. But to be flat out honest with you guys, that paragraph says it all. He doesn't care. This person doesn't care that they're non-binary or not. Well, actually, he does. He only wants them to be non-binary, and he wants to make sure everybody knows it. And how do you do that? Well, probably just like getting on screen and just telling people in the middle of the game. That's why he wants a single-player mode, and that's why he wants his character in the front of it, because he just wants his character to say, hey, I'm black, and I'm non-binary. I have nothing else special about me. I'm actually just... Literally, it's just a fresh coat of paint. That's all I have. That's my redeeming quality, and that's what you guys should know about me, is I'm a non-binary black person. That's what this person wants, and so he kind of said the quiet part out loud, which is a little frightening and a little actually pretty funny, if we're being honest with each other. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I think it's garbage, but maybe you guys have a disagreement, and it's totally cool to disagree. Let me know. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. I don't normally do stuff like this because it can get me into trouble, but I really felt like I kind of needed to. So again, let me know what you guys think. Give it a like, would definitely help me out. All that good stuff. I do have other things, Twitter, second YouTube channel. All of that stuff is in the description below if you guys want to check it out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.